I recently watched Spider-Man Brand New Day, and I have some thoughts, I have some feelings, I have all of the things because I'm a huge, huge Spider-Man fan. And you guys are gonna have to listen to my ramblings, okay? Okay. So, first off, spoiler warning is in effect from this moment on. If you've not seen Spider-Man Brand New Day, same as I've said on my TikTok videos, scroll past, save it for later, do what you gotta do. Or if you don't care about spoilers and you just want to talk about Spider-Man, then I'm here for that. I'm absolutely here for that. So, if you don't know me, my name is Shy. I talk about film, TV, spooky shit, nerdy shit, just anything you can think of, really. And yeah, join me over here on my Avengers and TikTok, Instagram, all those places. Let's get into the video. Okay, so I loved this movie. I really loved it. I know that people have issues with it. I know that people have a lot of issues with this movie. Mainly that it's not an Avengers movie, that it's not got, like, the Tony Stark tech. We've not got the Iron Spider costume. It's very, like, low tech. And it's kind of just Spider Man on his own. And that's kind of what makes this movie great, in my opinion. Because we are seeing Peter Parker deal with things while he's been living just as Spider-Man for the past few years, because he's like 22 roughly in this movie. He has coped for the past few years without his girlfriend, without his best friend, without anyone in his life knowing who the fuck he is. Everyone just knows him as Spider-Man. His best relationships are with DeWolf, who doesn't know his name, doesn't know who he is, and Frank, aka the Punisher, who again doesn't know who the fuck he is behind the mask until he does, right? Another gripe that people have with this movie is Punisher being in it. I again do not agree with this because I think that Frank makes a great addition to this movie. Because yeah, does he have to tone himself down? Absolutely. But do him and Peter have that, like, chaotic older brother and, golden retriever little brother energy? Yes. And I love it. I love that they are polar opposites. The scene where Peter shoots the web onto Frank's mouth as he's about to swear, I love that because that's basically them going, yes, Frank ain't gonna swear. He's not gonna. No, no, we can't do f bombs in this franchise. No, Frank's got to be good. So we have Frank, and also, do they just make each other more New York? I feel like they go from, like, talking kind of normally to, like, full on, like, I'm walking here, like, when they're talking to each other, and I don't know what it is. I also need to see, well, I think that we as an audience need to see, even if they do like a little short for Disney Plus or something, where we see the Staten Island incident, where we see what happened between them there, because they keep mentioning it, but that's not something we've seen on screen between these two yet at all. So I'm hoping there's like a flashback, or like they just do like a little short of it, because it was something that was mentioned a few times. And it wasn't a case of like, oh, it was a fleeting comment. Like, it was mentioned a few times. It was even mentioned by MJ at one point. Speaking of MJ, MJ and Ned have been off at MIT. They were having the best time. Peter's keeping up with them via social media, which, as we all tend to do when we lose touch with people from real life, we keep up with them on socials. Yeah, it just makes Peter sadder. He's developing his own tech while he's doing that. He's just kind of, I don't know, living in a dingy little hole with his spider tech while he's going through a mutation, which I will get to later on in the video. But yeah, so MJ and Ned are off at uni, but they come back. And when they're back, Peter goes and sees them while they're having a house party, so he can just kind of slip in and see them. I did like the line where it was like, friendly neighbor, like, because it's like, yes, absolutely, this is what this film does best. And like, the Spider-Man films have always been funny, as well as like the heart and the emotion and like the action. There's always been comedy, and this film has got a lot of that, let me tell you. So MJ and Ned obviously don't recognize him at all. Do they? Do they? Yeah. I will get more towards what happens at the end towards the end of this video because I don't want to get ahead of myself. So he is dealing with that. He's also dealing with the metamorphosis. So he is going through a lot of changes, and I love that when we see the like spider video, like the nature video that he's watching about spiders and how they shed and stuff. I love that we get to see kind of what it's like in actual spiders, and that it's Keith David doing this voice. And I don't know why it is, but I love it nonetheless. I think it's a brilliant cameo. So yeah, he is kind of coming towards becoming Man Spider, realistically. And apparently they cut scenes where he had really vivid, violent dreams of becoming Man Spider. And I think that would have been really cool to see, but obviously they would have had to like bump their rating up, which I get that they don't want to do. However, we see that he can now use organic webbing. He now has organic webbing, which throws off his web shooters. He can't use both, which is an interesting development. He also, has the black eyes. He's having headaches more frequently. He's dealing with a lot. His body is changing. He wakes up in a cocoon, and I love that. I love the image of that. I think it's a brilliant, brilliant scene. So he is metamorphosizing. So he goes to see none other than our pal Bruce Banner. And he's like, okay, well, how would I suppress certain parts of myself? Like, theoretically, how would a person suppress certain parts of their mutant genes, but not other parts of their mutant genes? And he's like, oh yeah, use an inhibitor. Which that then becomes a big plot point of using an inhibitor, and it helps Peter for a little bit. And he thinks, oh, I could use this on the villain. Let's get to the villain, right? So at first, she's dark, she's mysterious, she is using other people, jumping through other people to communicate with Peter, to commit crimes, to try and find this VMAX, right? Because she doesn't know what it is, but she knows she wants it, she knows she wants answers, and it's important. So Peter is having to deal with that and goes to the person that he thinks will know about it because she deals with the big potatoes, Yelena. People had issue with her being called Black Widow. They're all called Black Widows, hon. Like that. They just are. That's kind of their backstory. So she, for some reason, I say for some reason, as if it's not completely necessary and doesn't make total sense. So her office is a bathhouse, and that makes complete sense to me. That makes complete sense for her character. And she's just like, well, yes, we can find out what we can, but this is small potatoes. Avengers deal with big potatoes. And yeah, it's just, again, a funny little exchange, and I love it. I think that she does absolutely brilliantly. Again, Florence Pugh being an amazing addition to the MCU once again. So she knows like pretty much nothing about Jean Grey. No one really knows much about Jean Grey. They track her face, they find out who she is, and yeah, turns out that Sadie Sink had been Jean Grey this entire time. I wish we hadn't seen it in the trailers. I wish we hadn't have seen so much of her powers in the trailer, because then it would have been a surprise, and it would have been an amazing surprise. Like, oh my god, it would have been so good to like have that suspense. But no, they showed us too much. God damn it, Marvel. Yeah, they showed us far too much. But we see that her powers are strong. She can pretty much get in anyone's head, except for Spider-Man's. But she kind of can, but gets pushed out somewhere along the way. So yeah, she's trying to get to him. She's trying to stop him from helping Damage Control from hiding whatever VMAX is from her. And I mean, Damage Control being the villains, are we really surprised? Are we really, really surprised the Damage Control are the villains? Really? I'm frankly not, because this is not the first time, and it certainly won't be the last time that they are like, oh yeah, we're the good guys. when in fact they are utter, total, complete pieces of shit. So yeah, them being the bad guys really isn't a shock to anyone. But Peter doesn't know the bad guys until it is far, far too late. Jean basically has this thing of you can't save her. You aren't safe. You're not safe anywhere. I can get to you. And from that, I was instantly like, right, okay, she's lost someone. She's lost someone really close to her. The fact that she kept bringing up MJ, when she managed to get into MJ's mind and do the whole, oh, I remember Peter. Yeah, I remember everything. When she did that to just to fuck with him, because there was no need. There was literally no need for that. It was harsh. It was far too harsh for her to do to Peter. He was already going through enough. He's already been through enough. Like, can we not just let him live? Can we not just let him chill? Really? But yeah, she uses MJ, and MJ comes to afterwards, and she doesn't remember anything. Whereas when Jean was controlling the mind of the good old director of damage control, he was like, "Oh yeah. Well, she said Sarah. But that was someone that I lost. I lost someone called Sarah recently, and she must have, seen into my head. Blah blah blah." Whereas MJ's like, "No, I didn't remember anything." And obviously, Peter's more likely to believe MJ because what reason has she got to lie to Spider-Man? She hasn't got anything to gain either way, really. And he realizes that, oh shit, he was lying. He is a piece of shit. Ah. We then have a really fucking heartbreaking scene. We have a heartbreaking scene of MJ saying that she doesn't remember him. She doesn't remember him. She says, I don't love you because I don't even know you, which valid in any other case. But she remembers she was twiddling a necklace, right? The necklace that he got her, the Black Dahlia necklace. And yeah, she knew. She kept it on this whole time. And there are little nods to her knowing. And then obviously we have the ending scene with Ned, which I will get to at the end. But yeah, I feel like MJ definitely remembers something, if not everything. I feel like she remembers a couple of things. But yeah, she remembers some things, in my honest opinion. We do have that scene with obviously Ned and Peter while he's dressed as Spider-Man, just playing with Lego, and it just healed me in a way that I didn't realize that I needed healing from everything in the MCU and the Spider-Verse. But yeah, MJ apparently doesn't remember any of this. She does still draw Spider-Man though. She's like, yeah, you and Ned look like best friends. It's like, yeah, I've really missed you guys. And she has a kind of a twinkle in her eye that kind of tells me, she remembers more than she's letting on. Anyway, let's get back into the action. Peter goes to where Jean is and where she's attempting to get into, finds the Hulk. Finds the damn Hulk. And yeah, Bruce's inhibitor has come off. He's like, holy shit, this is bad. Hulk goes like Mega Hulk to the point where Peter doesn't realize that Hulk can get that big. But Hulk remembered Peter. There was a second where he was like, it's me, it's Peter, I'm your friend. Hulk remembers Peter. Bruce doesn't. Hulk definitely does. And I think that's going to become important later down the line, whether it's in Doomsday, whether it's in Secret Wars, whether it's in another Spider-Man project, that is going to become important. But we obviously find out that Jean has lost her sister. Her sister was taken by the horrible, horrible people at Damage Control. She was tortured. Her powers were used against her. And we find out what VMAX is, and it's fucking heartbreaking, man. It's heartbreaking. We find out that VMAX is the last thing that she saw alive. She sent Jean a message because she looks up at the vent, and the vent says VMAX. And Jean's like, shit, the room that I am in after being captured by damage control is where my sister died. And that, oh my god, that pulled at the heartstrings. That massively, massively pulled at the heartstrings. Another moment that happened after this also played with the heartstrings a little bit. So Peter tries to help Jean after, she's frozen everyone in time, which I think was a beautiful scene because we see MJ's like tear coming down that like beautiful, beautiful scene. We have a scene where Peter's obviously like, I'm going to help you get out of here. And he sees that Frank is shooting towards Jean to like obviously stop the field that she has put up. And Peter jumps in front of her. Because he is just one of the greatest superheroes of all time. He just is. I love Spider-Man. He'll save anyone that he physically possibly can. This is a girl who's been like torturing him, using his girlfriend, using everything that she possibly can, right? Yeah, she's been using everything she possibly can to fuck with him. And he still saves her ass because that is the sort of person that Peter Parker and Spider-Man is. But yeah, he ends up basically nearly bleeding out, and he didn't even say, I don't want to go. He didn't say like anything similar to what he said when he was like, thought he was like dying last time. I think he was ready to go. But Jean got inside, kept him going until he was able to, get into the hospital and get treated. And yeah, but we do have that cute little scene as well. This is a scene that also pulled on my heartstrings, was the dream. She gets into Peter's mind and there's a dream of a memory between him and May. And it's basically, Jean just wants to be told she's not alone. She wants to be told she's not alone. She's lost her sister. Her mum was never really a mum to her. She's been in the foster system. Like, she's got no one and she doesn't want to be alone. She doesn't want to be a freak. She doesn't want to be this pariah that people are going to make her out to be. And is she going to head to a certain mansion for gifted youngsters? Maybe. Because she was headed out. She was gone. She was off on her way. But this leads us to a really, really cute scene where Peter is trying to leave the hospital. Also, Frank naps. Can I just say Frank naps? And I think they put that in the script specifically because John has a thing of like, I don't nap. I don't understand people who nap. So I think that the writer and director put this in out of spite, to be honest. I think it was a spite thing. And if it was, then fantastic. But yeah, we have a beautiful, beautiful scene. I'm getting do you know what? I'm getting emotional talking about this now. So Frank puts on the mask and the gloves while Peter's making his way out of the hospital. And it's just like, yeah, like at the window, pretending to be Spider-Man. And Peter gets to see how much people love Spider-Man. Peter gets to see how much joy he brings to people. And that is just so beautiful, man. He gets to see that from the outside. But again, we have the funny moment of like, it then cuts back to like Frank's view of it, of like him going, yeah. And again, yeah, it's the comedy. There's like funny little scenes in it. There's the scene with obviously Tom in the juicy track pants. Absolutely incredible. There's a lot of funny, cute little scenes. And I love it. I loved this movie. It was full of beautiful moments and heart. And then at the end, right, Ned remembers. I know that people are saying, oh, well, what if Jean got in Ned's head to like do the handshake with Peter? And it's like, no, that is a complicated handshake, right? Plus, Jean would have had to rest. Jean would have had to rest after like however long of being in Peter's head. She would need to rest because that takes a lot of power. But yeah, Ned totally remembered. And the fact that he was like, Peter, people are like, oh, well, Ned's just remembering that MJ called Spider-Man Peter. No, he knows, he remembers, and that is going to become important. The inhibitor is going to be important later on down the line. And yeah, I just really, really hope that you guys have enjoyed all of this and, enjoyed Spider-Man because it is one of my favourite films, and I just I love it, and I'm so happy that I have got to experience another Spider-Man film on the big screen.